It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
I'm gonna tell y'all about when them bounty hunters came and busted my door and then drugged me to jail. I think I'm gonna do a little series this week, and every story time's gonna be from the time the bounty hunters came and picked me up to the 2 months that I did in jail, so I can just tell the story in order. Okay, so let me tell you how them people got me. Okay, as y'all know, I'm from North Carolina and I live in Houston, Texas. January of 2023, I'm chilling in the house and I hear a knock on the door. I get anxiety every time I get a knock at the door. Cause y'all know them police had busted in my door in 2020. And plus I done got several eviction notices. That knock is petrifying to me. The song told me not to answer, but I looked out the peephole and I seen it was the maintenance man, so I'm like, let me just answer this door. He like somebody had put in a work order to change some filter. Now in my head, I'm like, I know I didn't put no order in, but I'm thinking maybe my sister did. So he changes the filter and he leaves out. This was the bait, y'all. They was trying to see if I was home. I'll never forgive that maintenance man. I thought we was friends. Anyways, next thing I know, all I hear is boom. They busted the door open. And they started screaming, come out with your hands up, come out with their hands up. Mind y'all, I'm chilling in the house, no wig. I come out the room like, y'all literally could have knocked. It's not that deep. They're like, you got a warrant in North Carolina. Did you not know that? I'm like, calm down. No, I didn't. And once they seen I was kind of chill and cool, they started being cool. So they're like, yeah, they got to take me to jail. I'm like, all right, well, can I put a wig on at least? I had to put on a freaking Synthetica because, I mean, was I going to have time for anything else anyway? So I put on my Synthetica and I walk out there looking like Wanda. That's when they put me in the handcuffs. So I'm trying to text my sister and my cousin in a group chat, and I'm like, yeah, I'm finna go to jail. They're like, no, you're not. I'm like, I'm literally going to jail. So I'm telling the bounty hunters, like, they don't believe I'm going to jail. They're like, we can take a picture. Don't worry. We'll send them a picture so they believe you. I'm like, all right, cool. They're like, we ain't finna take you to Harris County, though, because, like, it's gonna take a long time for them to process you, so we're just gonna take you to Conroe, Montgomery County. And that drive was gonna be a little minute, because I stay, like, close to the mall, so it was gonna be, like, maybe, like, a 45-minute to an hour drive. They're like, did you eat? I'm like, no. They're like, okay, we can go get some food. They took me to Chick-fil-A. Them people were so cool. I'm thinking we were building a bond, a relationship. They was gonna let me go. No, they fed me and they fucking took me to the jail. But they're telling me, like, you should be able to get out within 3 days. I'm like, okay, that's not that bad. By the time we got to the jail, I thought we was friends. I low-key missed them when they dropped me off. Like, I fucked with them. That processing was not quick, y'all. It took them 2 days to process me. Meaning I couldn't go to the back. Meaning I could not get a blanket or a mat. Meaning I had to sleep on the hard cement floor for 2 days in a holding cell with 20 other girls in one toilet. I got in there maybe around like 5 or 6 o'clock. On the first day, they woke me up at 1 in the morning from my sleep and made me go take my mugshot. I was not mugshot ready by then. I looked sleepy and scared. Then me and the lady ended up getting to it because I had my arms in my shirt and she's like, take that out. And I'm like, I'm cold, bitch. So anyways, the girls was telling me like, it's not gonna be 3 days. It's probably gonna be like 10 days that you gotta wait. And I'm still like, I mean, all right, I've been in here a little bit. I can do 9 to 8 more days. That's not nothing. I went to court on the second day I was there and they said, bitch, you don't have fucking 10 days. You gotta wait 30 days for the U.S. Marshals to come and get you. I literally called my ex-boyfriend on the phone weeping. I sound like snotty nose, spitty. Like, but anyway, there's me. There's my nutshot. You see them chapped lips.
Damn.
And there's me with my friends.
You had this, what is that, felony marijuana possession charge out in North Carolina?
Felony marijuana?
It's like, yeah, I think, yeah. I mean, you think it's like, well, you got bust down. You got a felony warrants out of state, so that's that's what's going on. Yeah. So
Up front, okay. I'm not gonna.
It's recorded.
Why? You're gonna be on TV. You're like a celebrity.
No, I'm not.
Yeah. You're the new El Chapo, I heard.
Yeah. Do you have?
I'm gonna tell you about my first 29 days in jail. So like I told y'all yesterday, I got picked up by the bounty hunters, and then it took me 2 days to get processed. So for the first 2 days, I was in a holding cell with 20 other girls. Well, it wasn't 20 at every time. Like at first it was 10, then it was like 15, then it was like 20. When you're in the holding cell, you cannot get a blanket, you cannot get a mat, and you cannot get the regular trays. You have to get a Johnny stack, which is better than the regular trays. It's like peanut butter sandwiches, an apple, and some juice. Yes, you gotta use the bathroom in front of everybody else. No, there's nowhere to lay down, so we slept on the floor. Don't go to jail, they will treat you like an animal. On the morning of the third day, I was finally processed, and they woke me up and told me I could go to the back. Now, first you gotta sign this paperwork saying that you are gonna follow the rule. The only rules that matter. Breakfast is at 4 a.m., lunch is at 10:30 a.m., and dinner is at 4 p.m. Commissary is twice a week. It was on Mondays and Thursdays. You're supposed to get up at 9 a.m., but they don't make you. They just make you take your covers off if you're gonna lay down. And lockdown was 10 p.m. After they gave us the rules, they took us to the back, we got our mat, and they gave us a bunk. Now, for you to get a little imagery of what it looked like, it was dorm style. That means it was open. There was no cells to lock down to. There was rows of bunk beds all beside each other. There was 4 different rows, and there was 10 bunk beds in each row. A day room with a TV and 2 phones. 40 girls in all, and there was 2 different bathrooms with 3 toilets each and 2 showers. But 20 people were assigned to each bathroom. So the next day I went to court. That's when they told me that North Carolina had 30 days to send the U.S. Marshals to come pick me up. On top of that is business days. Weekends and holidays do not count. I cried on the phone to my ex for like 5 minutes, and then I got my mind right, and I told myself, you better get comfortable, bitch. You're gonna be here a while. For everybody confused about my charges, it wasn't just a possession charge. I had a trafficking charge. Every 20 pounds is a new charge. So I had 2 counts of trafficking, possession, fugitive from state, and a probation violation. That's why I was so serious, and that's why they had to send the U.S. Marshals. I did not eat for the first 5 days because I missed the first commissary, and I refused to eat the jail food. It looked like slop. They told me that if I didn't start eating, they were gonna put me on suicide watch. I got so skinny and weak and frail I could barely stand up, so all I did was lay in my bed. Anyways, when I finally got my commissary, I started eating. You know, I was Miss Commissary. I had them banned. And I also got a notepad, so I just basically read and wrote every day. I did not watch TV. That shit was 32 inches and I cannot see far away. I did not want to make no friends. And it kind of was not even a place to make no friends anyway. I mean, it's jail. But on top of that, I was mostly in there with addicts, like old white addict women. And don't get me wrong, it was cool. Sometimes they smell funny. Like at night, they stink so bad I had to sleep with the covers on my face, and those covers were nasty too. We changed our clothes once a week, or maybe it was twice, I don't remember. I literally dropped the soap in the shower day 1. And eventually I did become cool with a couple girls. And after a while, once they knew I knew how to braid, they started PMing noodles to braid their hair. Real hustler. Everybody got along. There was really no clique, and there was only 1 fight the whole 29 days. All in all, that time was not that bad, because I'm a homebody anyway, so the only thing really missing was my phone. But also, I'm not a crybaby, and I make the most out of every situation I'm in and take it as a learning lesson, so that's what I did. Don't be me, don't go to jail. But if you do, you will survive. After 29 days, the U.S. Marshals came and got me, but there's me. Let me tell you about when the U.S. Marshals came to pick me up from Texas, and I had to ride the whole way to North Carolina in cuffs. Whew, that was a mouthful. Okay, if you've been tuning in the past 2 days, you know what's going on, and I love you. And make sure you say I love you back in a comment. Anyway, so I spent 29 days in jail in Texas. On the 29th day, the U.S. Marshals came to get me. Now, I was ready for them to come get me. I was ready to go. I was tired of being in there. I couldn't get no bond in there, and I knew once I got to North Carolina, I was going to be able to bond out. It was like 5 a.m. when they called to tell me I was getting released. I mean, it wasn't really released, but anyways, I could have ran out them doors. I was so happy to be out of there. When I heard U.S. Marshals, I'm thinking 2 tall, marine-looking, buff, white men with blonde hair and blue eyes. I got to the front. It was a heavy-set white lady with brown hair and this short, white country man. As soon as I heard his accent, I almost cried. I hadn't heard that kind of southern accent in so long. I said, I miss North Carolina. Take me home. So they gave me this jacket to put on, and it basically had the pockets cut out. so I could put my arms through and they could handcuff me under the jacket because they was like, we want to be discreet. We don't want everybody seeing your handcuffs. We care about you. Okay, they didn't care about me, but you know, it felt like they did. So anyways, the man's like, I brought you breakfast. And I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. I miss that kind of Southern hospitality because Houston is like that, but it's not like that. I'm praying to God he brought me a waffle or a pancake or something warm. It was a damn apple in a granola bar. But I had been in jail so long and eating noodles for 29 days straight that I was so happy about that dang apple. So anyways, we went directly to the airport. The only thing good about being a fugitive at the airport is you don't have to go through TSA. We went right on through. Like, we had to stop at Homeland Security and they had to fill out this little thing. And the black man at the desk was looking at me like, what the heck did you do? And I'm like, sir, please look away. I'm ashamed enough. Because even though I had that jacket on, you could tell, like, I'm walking with two white people, my hands, like, it just looked like I was a criminal. Plus, I still had that Wanda wig on. I don't know why. I thought it was going to be on some private plane. I did not think we was going to be with the regular people. But we, in fact, were. But another good thing is we got to get on the plane first. Terrible thing is we had to sit way in the back. And they had to go on and check the plane and make sure there was nothing on there and nobody trying to come and save me and free me. They must have was listening to my phone calls because I was begging my mom to come break me out. It was almost a 3-hour ride, and I had to be in handcuffs the whole time, but guess what? I did not care. They had movies on that plane. I told y'all I wasn't watching that TV in jail because it was 32 inches. I'm not squinting my eyes for that little shit. Plus, I was around regular civilians, and they gave me soda on that flight. You will never understand how good stuff tastes until you go without it. Like, soda tastes so good when you go so long without drinking it. Even the water tastes better, fresher, cleaner. That was the best plane ride I ever took in my life. So anyways, when we landed, we had to be the last people to get off. And when I got off the plane, there was a line of police from the airport and from the Charlotte Police Department waiting on me. I was like, oh my God, all this for me? Y'all are treating me like a hardened criminal, but I guess in their mind I was. So anyway, they took me to jail for processing. I'm thinking I'm gonna get right out. Wrong. My bond was $125,000. They wanted $20,000 for a bond. There's me though. Okay, I think this is like part 4 of the Sydney Underground Jail Road. Because this literally was a journey to freedom. Okay, so they transported me to Mecklenburg County Jail, which is in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's when I found out my bond. I called the bail's bondsman. All of them wanted $20,000 at the least. They really wanted $25,000, but they told me they'll take $20,000. Because I don't live in North Carolina, I was a flight risk, all these other factors. And plus, my bond was high. I didn't really talk about my case because I'm still on probation for it, but there was another person involved, and he told me that he was going to pay my bond when I got one. He told me this when I was at the first jail, before the 29 days, way back. When my sister called him to tell him the amount, he got to tripping. Now, I was angry as hell, but I was locked up. There's nothing I could do about it, locked up, but try to call other people. Go Ahead was broke as a joke. We was together at the time. He was broke. He didn't have $1 on my books that whole time I was in jail, and he didn't have no money towards my bond. Why was I messing with this man? And he was cheating on me the whole time. I found out when I got out. Luckily, I was cheating on him before I went in, so the get was already back. Anyways, I called my sugar daddy. He said he was hurting at the time. He said he could put something towards it, but he didn't have the whole $20K. The next day, I was going to have court, and they said that my bond might get lower, so just wait. I called my mom, and I told her, please come to court. She's a real one, so she did. And she spoke on my behalf, and the lady was so moved that she dropped all my bonds. So I'm waiting, I'm finna get out. God is good, amen. Wrong. The original judge that made me get that high bond overrid the second judge and was like, no, we're keeping the bond the same. I was boo-hoo, weeping, crying, choking, on my spit, everything after that. Cause I'm finna be stuck in here. I have a rich older brother. I do not like to call him for help because we always call him for help. But he was my last hope, so I made that call, and I boo-hoo cried on the phone. I told him I would do anything to pay him back if he paid the $20,000. Like, it was like, I will start dancing again. I would sell Cootie Cat. I don't care what I have to do. I will get you your money. Just get me out of here. So he was like, okay. So the next day when I called him and my mom, they was like that I needed a lawyer. The lawyer was going to cost $20,000 as well. So my brother was like, instead of paying $20,000 for the bond and $20,000 for the lawyer, we're going to pay for the lawyer and we're going to get him to get you a court date so you can go ahead and get out of there ASAP. So at that point, I got comfortable. Now, the rules of the jail were mostly similar to the first one, except they were single cells, and you had to get up for count at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. And they had to read you the handbook twice a day. It was so boring. The commissary was so poor people food, it was ridiculous. I mean, commissary is kind of poor people food anyways, but it was bad. The jail was ran down raggedy poor. It was all black people, so instead of heroin addicts, it was mostly CRACK addicts. I did make 2 homegirls that I'm still cool with to this day. Y'all know I was dating a little stud for 2 weeks at that time. At this point, I was institutionalized. So I was eating the jail food. I was just like locked in like I was a real criminal. I mean, I guess I was. And a few weeks later, they shackled me up and took me to court. Shackles hurt. I signed my plea deal and they let me out 5 hours later. Now, I did have to go back for a probation violation, but I'll tell you about that tomorrow. And of course, I made a first day out song, so just let me know if y'all want to hear it. But there's me. And there's me, my first day out. Look at the face of a beautiful, gorgeous criminal.
2 I stand on 10, I make the numbers make the sense. They sat me down inside the room, I could've snitched, I never did. You gon' handle all this shit, I had your word, that's what you said. So while I'm sitting in this cell, while you at home inside your bed. When I get out, I'm popping out, them folks will never see me down. They been asking about my bond, like they gon' pay 100,000. Want my info to be nosy, but don't care if I get out. Bitch, I'm Miss 3900, GSA shit what I'm about. I be tripping, I look go ahead, but he answered every call. I be leaning on my sister, cause of her, I'll never fall. I ain't worried about no bombers, hold it down, gon' pay it all. And I know who held it down, so it's fuck all the rest of y'all. First day, I'ma let my last day in. I can stand to lose a nigga, I ain't trying to lose no friends. Hold you down in the beginning, you can't find them in the end. They be screaming at the streets till they find another bitch. If you really wanna switch pussy, nigga, you should say that. You don't want my ass to snitch, but I gotta get some payback. I done been through worse alone, it ain't hard for me to face that. Better stand on where you laying, cross that bridge, it ain't no way back.
I'm gonna tell you about the last 25 days I was locked up and why it changed the course of my whole life. I can't do no fake friends Friday this week, because even though I done had some fake friends and I fell out with so many people, everybody held me down when I was locked up. Like, all my fake friends was there for me, putting money on my books, answering the phone, like, being there for my sister. Like, my friends was actually really real during that time. And this will be concluding the Underground Jail Road. So anyways, I told y'all that I ended up getting out in the end of February of 2023. Well, they had already violated my probation at that point, so I bonded out on that charge after I took my other plea deal. So when I went to court on my probation violation charge, they basically told me I had to serve my suspended sentence. If you don't know what that means, basically when you get probation, the amount of time you have to do on probation is equal to the amount of time in jail. If you get in trouble or you get violated, you have to serve the jail time. It was 30 days in all, but they gave me 5 days of time served. They took me right from court and took me to jail. I was really sick. And every time I go to jail, I'm always on my period. That's the most fucked up part. Plus, this is right after my ex had beat me up. So once my makeup wiped off the second day I was in there, the guards and all the girls could see I had 2 black eyes and a busted lip. I was so embarrassed. One of the girls I was in the holding cell with was like, why is your eye black? And I'm like, my boyfriend beat me up like 3 days ago. And she was like, oh, my boyfriend does that to me all the time. I'm like, all the time, girl, I'm leaving this man after this. The rules of this jail was kind of similar, except for they was on 23-hour lockdown. We could only come out for 1 hour a day to make phone calls, to shower, whatever you need to get done in that hour. Because they were understaffed. This was in Greensboro, North Carolina. Everything about that jail was isolated, even down to eating food. We did not eat with each other. We ate in our cells alone. So mentally, I was fucked up. I literally could not understand how I ended up in this place twice in 1 year. And on top of that, I'm beat up. I just left my ex-boyfriend. I'm on drugs. Like, everything was just fucked up at that time. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, God is trying to tell me something. He's sitting me down in this predicament for a reason. I'm isolated from everyone for a reason. So I changed my mindset from complaining about why I was in there again to trying to figure out what it was that I needed to learn while I was in there. So I didn't call home or nothing. I really locked in and used this time to get to know myself. And I really think I had to go twice because the first time I did not lock in. I didn't learn nothing. I waited on my time to get out. But this time, not only did I try to figure out how I ended up in jail, I tried to figure out how I ended up in an abusive relationship, how I ended up on drugs, how I ended up with so many fake friends around me, and just so much bad stuff happening in my life. I literally dug deep. This is why I can tell these stories now. Cause I promise you, before them 25 days, I would have never got on this internet and told half of this stuff because I was still ashamed and embarrassed about most of the stuff I went through. But I used that time to figure out how I ended up in each predicament, and it taught me to release the shame from it. Because at the end of the day, I was hurt and I was making decisions out of pain. Then I was like, I gotta get to the root of the problem. And y'all know what that was? Not being able to forgive my dad. For years I had been walking around with that anger and that pain and just messing myself up more and more because of it. So I sat in that cell for 25 days and I cried and I wept and I begged God for forgiveness and I asked God to help me and I forgave my father and I forgave everybody that hurt me. And I learned to love myself terrible passing out. And there's me.
Hey, watch me glow, she coming through. I'm on the pop up in your hood like love.
Period.
I might just fuck your man, so don't let me meet your crew. Selling niggas all these dreams, so I'm over. If it's what you get, no, you cannot have your shit. Niggas come a dime a stupid nigga, get a grip.
Okay.
Yeah, he might have took your crown, but bitch, don't let him get you down. Go and make that nigga. Many times you get revenge. Swear to God, I'm losing count. Next bank account. I won't waste no fucking tears. I'ma show his ass a drop.
Okay.
About the clout, cause I live to be that crazy bitch that doubt.
What it do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Today we back with another lit video, back in the confessional, and yes, we staying lit, big dog, man. Shout out to my everyday people who rock with me every day. Shout out to my player partner Lucky Wheels of Deals. He keeps it lit. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to this video. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section, man. Hit the links down below. We got HiveMindLabs.com where you can get some super fat burners, right? Unbig that back. Yeah. Super fat burners, all right? Diet, exercise, man, super fat burners, man. You can unbig that back, man. Lose that hard to burn fat, okay? Okay, you know what I'm saying? Do you some jailhouse burpees and stuff like that. You'll be straight, you know what I'm saying? And you got the Opulence Scents, okay? Get your 3-wick candle. That's that everyday PJ. We stay lit, big dog, okay? Okay? Now, let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section, man. Hit them links down below, man. 80K subscribers, man. 80K, man. Can y'all believe it, man? Let's get this thing to 100. We got the 100K subscriber giveaway coming up soon, man. But let's get into this video, man. Shout out to your girl Sydney Santiago, man. Yo. The makeup was killing me, you know what I'm saying? That's just true story. I know people was like, is this real? What we doing here? Okay, she was just giving makeup tutorials, okay? She was doing like I said before, you know what I'm saying? Slab on here, slab on there, paint roll up here, she edged up the line up. You know what I'm saying? Like she all she needed was some what's that paint tape, you know what I'm saying? She just put some paint tape on there and just lined it up real good and pulled the paint tape right off. It would have got them edges right, you know what I'm saying? That's all we was waiting for. Then the line down the middle, you know what I'm saying? Then the little dot on the nose, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so shout out to her, man. If y'all need a makeup tutorial, go to Sydney Santiago on TikTok. Look at that. Yeah, she went to the, she got a trafficking charge, but only did 30 days in jail. She's snitching. Okay, nah, she was probably just caught up with somebody, you know what I'm saying, in a whole little roundup, you know what I'm saying, down with her dude at the time. You know what I'm saying? He was maybe moving some things. She probably did a little, bust a move here and there for your boy, couple swerves here, couple swerves there. You know what I'm saying? Phone call here, phone call there. Got caught up in the sauce and then got dipped and tripped, fell, busted a lip, then head to Houston, Texas. Okay, said I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So that's what happened, man. Ain't nobody playing with this. Ain't nobody playing with her. She said I'm on probation. I'm out of here, and they came and got her. Okay, hey, she knew they was after her. So yeah, that's what happened. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, this stuff happens all the time. Unfortunately for me, I didn't get caught up into something like this. I did get in some trouble back in the day, and I was a wild boy. But you know, unfortunately for me, I got hooked on some wild charges. Eventually, not acquitted of everything, but you know, pretty much got my just due and got my time and got up out of there. But they really tried to do your boy. And same thing, man. Instead of getting a lawyer, instead of bonding out, like going to jail and bonding out, I was told to get a lawyer, so I went and got a lawyer, man. I was like, nah, we got to get some of these charges under control, like, cause they trying to do your boy, man. I'm talking about, my bond was like half a stack. I was like, ugh. So, you know, I got a lawyer. We went there with some evidence and some information, and not information on somebody, but you know, in regards to the case and everything. And I got out for free because it was a bunch of bogus ass charges, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't that bogus, but it was bogus enough to where it's like, man, they you know, the police try to stack them charges on you. So then, in that case, I could fight from the outside, because it's hard to fight a case while you locked up, man. I'm gonna tell you that. But then what I kept doing was messing up, you know what I'm saying? Kept going around, being around the wrong person. You know, out there messing with, you know, this girl, and, you know, getting into girls having arguments with each other and getting me in between it, and girls stealing my cars, and other women writing crazy stuff on my cars, and you know, and stealing my shit and throwing my clothes out in the middle of the apartments and all type of stuff. It was just a mess, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a mess, you know. So, but eventually, you know, yeah, I went to the county for like 6 months, man. And when I finally got locked up, because they was like, man, we got to lock this fool up, because they was really sick of me. Like, I don't know, y'all really don't know PJ. PJ was a hoodlum. You know what I'm saying? When I was a kid, and it was me and my hoodlum friends, and we used to do the most. And it was just that one situation that they was like, man, we finally got him, because they kept trying to get me, because I would be in Oklahoma City, but it's Cleveland County, and then I'd be in Moore, Oklahoma, which is a suburb of Oklahoma City, and I'd dip out of Moore and be back in Oklahoma City, and they'd get me in Oklahoma City, but it'd be in Cleveland County, so they'd be like, okay. But Oklahoma City didn't really want to bother me, but Cleveland County was like, yes, but they couldn't. It was like a thing. So, you know, you could get in trouble in Cleveland County, but if you lived in Oklahoma City, or if you lived in Oklahoma County and you got in trouble, if you lived in Oklahoma County, they'll switch your probation to Oklahoma County, your DOC probation. And I just kept getting off of them, and they was like, we gotta lock this fool up. So when they had their opportunity, they got my black ass. They put me on all my probations they was just stacking, waiting to stack and stack and stack. I had all these suspended sentences, and they were just, boy, they couldn't wait. So when that finally, that one time they got me, and so me trying to fight, I was like, man, I was sitting there fighting my cases, and then they finally locked me up with a probation violation, and I couldn't get back out. And then they was like, so once they locked me up with a probation violation, and they didn't jump off none of my bonds, so then when I finally got my time, I was in the county for 6 months, and I finally was about to go to prison in the middle of a snowstorm, and it snowed so bad they made me go back upstairs, and then I went to Lexington, which is the assessment and receiving. It was so cold, and they take everything, drawers, socks, everything. So for the next 2 weeks, I done had no drawers, no socks, just some flip-flops and the jumper set. And you had to walk around through the hallways and everything with your hands behind your back. And it was freezing cold, and you getting all your blood drawn and all that stuff and that wild stuff. And I still ain't had no snacks. And my mom and them, they didn't come see me one time in the county. My baby mama would come see me. I couldn't see my daughter. And crazy part, I was there for my baby mama. But she would come see me, and I was like, man, you gotta help me out this situation. She was like, well, this and that. Yeah, anyway. So then I went down. I was finally able to taste the soda after 6 months. It was so refreshing. My cellie gave me a soda until I got my commissary there. Man, I was so happy. I ate some chicken for the first time in 6 months. Man, I was so happy. Man, but I was so happy to get out of that prison. Out of that county jail food. It was just like, it was a blessing. It was a blessing in disguise. But then I was thinking like, man, I'll be here for like just a few months. They was like, yeah, you about to get out of here in May. May came around. It was like, nope, you're not getting out of here. So I really thought like I was really about to be back out in the streets. Ain't nothing in my life changed. I was still like, it was some people I was ready to turn up on because I had just got into a situation the day before I got locked up. And even when I got in the situation, I'm gonna tell y'all about that situation. I can't tell everything because, but I got in a situation and I had to air some foods out. And then while I was in the county, they came and talked to me about that situation. I was like, I don't know, I wasn't there. And but when I was getting out in May, I was ready to go see them fools. I was ready to go see them fools. I ain't changed. Ain't nothing in my life changed. And that was the reason why God said, nope, you ain't going nowhere. So at that point, man, I started going to church. I started trying to change my train of thought, you know what I'm saying, trying to get my life together. And I was like, man, I started reading more. I had already been crocheting and stuff like that, and I just really just sat down. And so I spent the summer there. I was working, I was cutting trees already, so I had gotten shape. I was, I was 115. Let me tell y'all, I was doing like, I don't know, y'all don't know about lines, but I was doing lines and primos and all that. I was out wilding, like I tell you, I was out there. But so when I went in, I was addiction, alcohol, drugs. I was like coming off of alcohol. I was withdrawing from alcohol in the county jail, and so when I got to prison, I was just like, trying to figure out like my life. And then I started to be like, man, I ain't going back to none of that. I ain't going back. I'm gonna just change my life. I'm gonna give up all that stuff, And so once I got to May, and I knew I had to sit down till, I thought I was gonna have to sit there for another year. I think it was about another year at that time. And I was like, man, forget it, man. I was like really defeated. I was ready to give up, not give up my life or nothing. I was just like, I was talking to some people. People was like, I was talking to people about like life outside, and like it was some people that been in for a long time. One dude was like, he was a career habitual criminal. He was like, man, you was jackballing and all this stuff. I was like, bro, you been locked up forever. You can't tell me what nothing was. And it was just it was a life-changing experience. But then when I got that date that I was getting out, I felt so good. And I had changed everything. And I took by that, I had already made my mind up about changing my friends, changing everything. But when I got out, I hung around a few people, but then I didn't. You know what I'm saying? People would still come around, but then I didn't. I went and got a job. And then my friends started coming back out, but then those same people that I wanted to get at, I left them alone. I still seen them around. I was like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was a terrible time. You don't want to go to jail. You don't want to go to prison. You don't want to go to none of that. And so I'm finna go celebrate my 80K subscribers. This was just a story time, and even thinking about prison, it just gives me like the hives. I don't like to watch prison shows. I don't like to do none of that because my cousin just got out, so I'm finna go pull up on him, and you know, all that stuff. It just don't do me well. You know what I'm saying? It don't make me feel good. I try to tell a lot of people one day I want to, you know, talk to people about like changing their life and how they can move forward and be a different person. You know what I'm saying? Because on here, y'all don't know, y'all don't give a damn about me. You know, I mean, y'all care about me, but y'all don't like give a damn. But it's people that I can help out. It's people I can show, you know, a different lifestyle, how to, you know, bounce back from stuff. You know what I mean? You don't gotta live in the past. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to live in the past. I don't like to really talk about it, but I'll talk about it. I talk about the fun times. But I tell everybody, yeah, it was fun. I touched 100,000 in a year illegally. But as fast as it came, it went. You know what I'm saying? And then half of that money went to a lawyer. The other half, I was able to put back. And I was, you know, when I had cars, I had money when I came home. And I had little stuff, you know what I'm saying? I was ready to come home and do a couple lines, smoke some weed, get drunk, go bust some guns, and I didn't do none of that. I just gave all that stuff up. Like I said, I don't want no part of that. I changed my life after that. So, and it's been up since then, you know what I'm saying? And even, you know, I kept a job. I got into a little bit of trouble here and there, but nothing that I couldn't handle. And I'm blessed to be here today. You know what I'm saying? 80,000 subscribers later. You know what I'm saying? A fan base, supporter base that believes in me, believes in the channel. And we're going to keep it lit. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep it lit. So we're going to talk about this 80K subscriber giveaway since, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to give away a candle. I'm going to send somebody a candle. I'm gonna send somebody a tumbler. I think I'm gonna do a super fat burner package. I'm also gonna do the shoes or the wig as the grand prize. I'm gonna give a couple cash apps, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna make that stuff happen, man. Cause you know, 80,000 subscribers, man. I'm lit. I'm appreciative of being here. And you know, like I said, like this lady, you know what I'm saying? She gonna bounce back. She's still young, maybe, I don't know. But you can always come back from where you at. You just I know some of y'all like, damn, I'm glad I ain't do that. But you know, if you see somebody in those situations, man, you gotta talk to them, be like, hey, you know, just check out this person. You know, I don't gotta come on here and act gangster. For real, I don't gotta act gangster at all. Because I don't gotta act gangster in real life. Because for what? You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody on here gonna touch me. Ain't nobody in the internet world gonna touch me. And it's people on the internet talk bad about me all the time, man. You'll never touch me. You wouldn't have touched me if you was here in Oklahoma. You wouldn't touch me. You know what I'm saying? Like in real life. You know what I mean? So I don't be sweating people. I don't sweat people in real life. I don't sweat people on the internet. I don't sweat none of that. Cause in real life, y'all would. It ain't nobody. We can tell people all the time. Y'all not gonna do nothing. People are fake. People are phony. Ain't nobody doing what they say they gonna do. People say they bust their guns. They not. They scary. So That's all you gotta tell. If you got sons that's out here in these streets, you gotta tell them. You might have 1 or 2 good friends. If you do, man, you try to be the best role model for them, and you try to make them a better person. But you can't change nobody. You can't do for everybody. So I can show y'all my friends. One of my friends, he coming down here. Solid dude, but he changed his life too. Multiple jail stints. I've done a lot of dirt for this fool. But you know, he put me on a lot of stuff, and you know, we shook up more for a long time, and you know, it was fun. But now we old, we got kids, we got families, and we still got our life, and we living good. It's funny how what's meant for you is gonna be for you. You know what I'm saying? What's meant for you is gonna be for you. You just gotta keep your faith in God or whatever you believe in. You know what I'm saying? If you do good, good gonna happen to you. Find your purpose in life, and good gonna happen to you. If you love what you do, good gonna happen to you. You know what I'm saying? Stop being so negative, good gonna happen to you. Start fasting, good gonna happen to you. And that's where it happens. Alright? Everyday people, man, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna holler at you later. Peace.